I know, like, we initially started thinking about the issue of parental abduction because that's what happened to you, and you met so many parents and children that had been abducted by a parent or had their children abducted by a former spouse. And we saw that there were a lot of like real challenges, right? If even if it happens, doesn't matter if it's a domestic abduction or an international abduction, the reality is police in many countries still think of this as a domestic dispute. They don't take it seriously. So they're like, figure it out on your own. Um, Diplomats want to keep their relationships with the countries they're in. That is their priority, their economic relationships with those countries, not the children that have been abducted in those countries. And even when you have laws like the Hague Convention that, in theory, are supposed to get children who've been internationally abducted between Hague countries return, it doesn't happen like it should. It's very slow. So we know dozens of cases where children are not returned decades later. And then what happens is it's so slow, then children, the bond becomes between the parent that they were taken from and the child, they lose that bond, and there's even a level of maybe bad talking or alienating that parent, and then at the point the child doesn't want to go back because they've been brainwashed, and so then they don't go back. So we really wanted to create something that would directly empower children and parents to reconnect through our mobile app. So we have two mobile apps now. We have the Find My Parent app, which is available for free to anyone around the world who's ever been separated for any reason. And then we have one that we created specifically for Ukraine towards the beginning of the conflict there. That is basically the same technology, but it's localized for the Ukrainian population. So it's in their language, also available in Russian. And then the idea is that any Ukrainian who's been separated from their family member, really for any reason, but the war could be a big part of that, can use the technology to reunite. So that's really what we built to start with, based on our technology.